Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast number 33, our last interview of the year 2020. In this last episode of the year, I had the pleasure to talk with my friends from VIKWay, which is a CGI company based in Sofia, and they make Archivz. And with my two friends, Vlado and Kiro. And it was super cool. So it was super cool to conclude the year with their company, have a chat with them, and to tell the story of Bulgarian side hustle who turned in a successful company. And they're now self-sustaining themselves with the company. They survived the big crisis of this year. And it was super inspiring for me and very nice to interview them, to get to know the whole story. Because, when you're with friends, you never have a structured talk about your background and your stories. And I hope you enjoyed the interviews of this year. I hope they were of a good company. And if you want to hear more, and if you want to make the Creative Insider more legit in front of further guests, maybe also some more famous or more interesting for you, you can keep supporting the podcast by following our social media channels, which are at TCI Podcast on Instagram or the Creative Insider on LinkedIn and Facebook. And we managed to survive this year, and I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you have had a great Christmas, got a lot of nice presents. And I'm seeing that a lot of people are listening from any corner of the world, so I would be curious to know who you are. So just drop me a message in one of the channels. And enjoy the last interview of 2020.
The whole world stops just like that.
Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Hi, Georgi. We're fine, thank you.
You're in the office doing the podcast, right?
Yeah.
You having some alcohol with you or no?
A little bit.
A little bit. It's a good Bulgarian spirit and tradition.
Yeah. It's really cold outside.
I saw pictures from Bulgaria that there was the first snow.
Yeah.
But what are you drinking? Because you should rakia, not. I heard whiskey. Better rakia.
The rakia has finished, so Irish.
I'm gonna title the podcast 3D visualization powered by rakia.
Okay.
So finally, we managed to do this podcast. When I was starting the podcast, I was thinking who I know that I can interview and have an interesting story, and you were also on my list. So finally, you guys took a little courage to take part on the podcast. So
thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So you can introduce a little bit yourself, like what do you do and what is your company, and
Well, okay, let me start first. My name is Kirill, and alongside with Vlado here, we started the company around 2-3 years ago. We actually started it a little bit further back, but on the paper it's around 3 years back. So I'll be short here. We produce 3D architectural visualizations mainly, but we are both architects, and we have architects in the company also, which are working with us. And that has been our main work and hobby during those years of hard work, probably 8 or 9 years already.
And I know Vlado personally better because we got to meet each other before. But where did you meet at the university, from the beginning or later on? And how was it to start a professional partnership together after a few years?
Yes, we met at the university from the beginning, from day one in the university. That was those were our first steps in architecture together. Then we studied in a city called Varna. Then 1 year later, we went come together in Sofia, where Vlado is from, and continued studying. And then after graduating from university, we are working together ever since.
Where are you from? You're not from Sofia. Where are you from?
No, I'm from Burgas. That's at the opposite side of the Bulgaria.
East side.
East side, at the Black Sea.
The Black Sea coast, nice. And how was so you started in Varna? So for the people who don't know, like Varna, Burgas, and Sofia is the capital, and the two other cities are very big cities in Bulgaria. So you started in Varna. How was the university in Varna? How was your first university year? And also I want to know, you both personally in your life, how did you decide to study architecture? Because all the guests have had some, sort of moment, or was there a moment in your life where you decided to become architects, and how that come?
Personally, for me, to answer your second question first, I've imagined being architect from a little kid when I was drawing houses. I remember even in preschool, and that's when the architectural idea came into my head. And then during the high school years, it came out to be as a university following the profession. And to answer your first question, how was in the Varna University? It's a bit easier, I might say. That's why, and it's not so much accredited like the universities in the capital. So it was better for us to go in Sofia to study architecture here.
And Vlado, how about you? When did you decide you want to be an architect?
I was really passionate about the architecture from child. I was playing a lot with Lego. You know Lego, right?
Of course, everybody who studied architecture has played with Lego at some point in their life.
Another story, but so yeah, from a very little child.
But I know that your grandfather was an engineer, right? Was that also a little bit an influence for you, or it was separate?
A landscape engineer, actually, and but he really helped me a lot with studying architecture.
And what are the requirements in Bulgaria to get into the university? I know it roughly, but I know that it's hard, but I don't know exactly what are the tests you need to pass to get into university.
So we have mathematics.
You mainly have to draw good at the level, and you have to pass your mathematics exams. And That's all. It was pretty hard at our time when we wanted to get into the university. But a couple of years after that, anyone who wanted to join this university in particular could have easily.
And but drawing like technical drawing or like freehand, just drawing things?
Well, no, freehand. Though there were three types of drawings that we had to draw. One was free drawing with the pencil,
Color drawing, color schemes.
color schemes. Yes, a color drawing. We don't know how to explain it in English, but and the third one was closer to the technical drawing, but also was freehand with a model in front of us.
I see. And when you needed to move after a year from Varna to Sofia, did you need to take again a test to get into the University of Sofia, or how did that work?
It just took a little donation.
Oh, that sounds that sounds very much like like a story from Bulgaria.
No,
but what?
Those were the rules. It doesn't include anything under the table or something.
Yes, legal.
It was legal.
Ah, okay. It was like an official rule. It's like a total legally.
Everybody knew beforehand that he might be doing this after the first year. So.
Yeah, and but a lot of people, I think, here in around the world don't know a lot about Bulgaria, and then sometimes they are and underestimate a little bit the the education and the students in general. Like, but from my personal experience, because I've got to know you and you do great work in general, because for the people who don't know, we kind of worked together in the past because you were some visualizations for the office I was working at. How was the education in this university? What was you think was very helpful for you, and what did you enjoy at the university, or what didn't you like that much?
There was a saying here in Bulgaria that said here in Bulgaria it's easy it's harder to get into the university but easier to get out, and it is the other way around in the other countries, probably West Europe or America. So it's probably right. It was not very hard to finish the university and graduate, but all in all, it depends on the person and what's he passionate about, and how much he wants to learn from the teachers who are there and want to teach him.
And were you happy with the teachers you had at your disposition? So some were good, some weren't that good. And how did you have a program which is a bachelor and then a master, or how did it work?
No bachelor here, just master's degree.
Oh, it's a master degree, and that's like 5 years, 6 years. How long it is?
5.5, I think, or 6.
5.5.
5.5, and master's degree, work diploma, or how was it in English?
The thesis, the master thesis.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 years.
You have 2 years officially to make the thesis, or
half a year to do that.
Half a year. And what did you do, guys, for your thesis? What was the project you did?
It depends on which
cathedral.
Yeah.
Which specialization you take? You kind of have like specializations during the studies, right? Like you can go slightly in different directions, as much as I know.
Yeah, and then again, you have a couple of options to choose from, and it was colorful at the finishing line, if I can say that.
Because I've finished my master in Rome, where you can completely free decide what it's your project. And in Germany, there are like subjects every semester. So they give you one subject and you sort of participate in a competition together with all the students in your university. And here in Germany, it's very nice. Most of the times, some of the master thesis topics are sponsored by some company. So the students also often win a little money with if they do the best project, or they win some little small amount of money if they do like second and third place. So, but what did you design what was your subject? What did you design, you two guys?
Mine was a library, multi-story library in Sofia. Nothing special, I might say. But I tried to make it interesting with putting the books at the top of the building. Then there was a great discussion with the teachers if I should have put them at the top of the building and not in the lower part because they are heavy. And that was interesting about my diploma.
And I was student hostel in the student city.
Oh, okay, like student residence.
Yeah. And there wasn't any specific parts in my project actually.
And so when you guys finished the university, you started working directly in the visualization industry, or you went for architecture offices first?
We started working even before we graduated in a visualization company, and then a couple of years after that, I went in an architectural firm for 4 years, but Vlad continued in the visualization, and then I came back and we opened the company, VIKWay, our own.
So, but it's interesting because in Bulgaria, it's becoming more and more 3D visualization hub, isn't it? Or it's just my perception?
Yeah, I think so. There was a few big companies here, but when everybody get the know-how, and a lot of people make some companies
went out on their way and made their own firms. But that's not important at the moment in this case. But the important thing is that when we started, we worked in a company called Red Vertex, which is now quite a big company. It makes a big part of the workforce here in Bulgaria, and I think that's why your perception of the visualization hub is ongoing. I don't think there are much high quality visualization firms here in Bulgaria.
I don't remember. Sometimes I go on, if you know, guys, the website Ronan Beckerman. He has this big blog and there was somebody from Bulgaria did the visualization of Zaha Hadid for this Chinese, building with a cool atrium. I think that the office is called something like /Cube or something like that, but I'm not sure.
Cosmos Cube, they are our friends.
Oh, so you know them. Yeah, so because I saw.
That's it. We work together. We know each other very well. From time to time, we work together as well, but they are really cool guys, and they're one of the professionals that I was talking about earlier.
Okay. And also because VIKWay is also Bulgarian, is that maybe this is also somehow why people are so much into visual, sort of a national product. I know actually right now also some of my colleagues from the university are moving to Bulgaria and Romania from Italy to learn to do visualizations. Was it hard to get a job in such a big office for visualizations in Bulgaria? What was the requirements to get a job there?
When we got a job there, it wasn't the situation wasn't as it is now. There weren't as many people making those kind of images, and it wasn't so widespread here in Bulgaria and wide world. I can't say it was hard, but if you had a passion for it and you wanted to improve yourself and show what you got, it was easy to get that job.
But how did you learn? Did you know already a lot on yourself about visualization, or you knew the basics and then you learned a lot in the office?
The interesting thing is that we thought we knew much, and from ourselves, from the university, what we thought in the university, but when we went there and hours and hours of work and many experienced people around you, which who are telling you every second some new thing about the programs, and you realized in the first couple of days that you didn't know almost anything about the biz, but during hard work with the hard work and a few hours of sleeping during many years, we might now say that we know a thing or two about making visualization.
I'm curious. I've never worked in Bulgaria. How was the relationship between colleagues and the bosses? Because here, generally, in my personal experiences, the relationship are, and most of the offices is very friendly. And like when you're a new guy, when I was a new guy here, when I joined my first job, I didn't speak that much German, and I haven't had work in an architectural company before. And everybody were very nice and kind, and they were trying to help me. And was it the same in your experience, or people were more like already in the first day pushing you, trying to expecting a lot from you? How was that?
From time to time it was pushing, but it in general it was a friendly relationship. Of course, there was always the issue of the late working hours and overtime working. That being said about the relationship with the boss, but when you're young, you don't realize actually that that's something you have to do, and it's against your will, but you wanted to do that because you wanted to improve yourself. Otherwise, the colleagues were very friendly. Here in Bulgaria, it's not so multinationally offices. It's not so common to have multinationalities in the offices. That's why, as more of the people are Bulgarians, it's easier to be friendlier with the new colleagues.
Also, we have a lot of friends from previous companies we have worked.
So it was a good time together. A lot of what is called a good company when you have spent a couple of a lot of nights together working hard. There is this bond between people. I know that also from my, for example, university or from my past offices. I still have a lot of friends because there is this camaraderie. And I'm curious. I always ask my guests because it's about being creative, but it's also about making some money out of it. How much did you manage to earn from your first jobs when you were starting, and how much can you earn? Like if you go to work in a big office for visualizations in Bulgaria?
You mean did we earn from the first company we worked and now? Or,
yeah, like in general, what are the standards if you're like employed in an office? I guess back then was less than now, I hope.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, it wouldn't be necessary to do it. Other than the money, when you have your own company and you have much more responsibilities, and furthermore, when you have people working with you, that's complicating things furthermore. And from a point on, the money are not so much of an issue when you turn the wheel, if I may say, if your company have been working couple of years now, and you have more and more clients, and money aren't the issue anymore, but you try to accommodate your colleagues and people that work in the office in the most good way, and to produce better images for the people. Money comes with that.
Yeah, sure, but I was thinking in general, like not because of course I'm not asking about how much your company makes, but if you mentioned Red Vertex, which maybe in the future some of their team will also participate on the podcast. I don't know yet, but if let's say I come back to Bulgaria and I apply and get a job in a company of the rank of this Red Vertex or something similar, how much do you know? How much is the wage in the industry in general
compared to the other countries, maybe?
Yeah, in general, how much is it in Bulgarian standards? Is it enough to live a good life in Bulgaria, or?
That's what I mean. I think it's enough. Yeah, I think in some cases it's better than enough. But you have to be in the biz for quite some time to earn this much. It's not the same as the programming and IT companies. But then again, nothing is compared to the wages they have. Even more in Bulgaria, when we are talking in Bulgaria, if you have doubts if Bulgaria is a visualization hub, so IT hub is something definite. But I think in this kind of business you can earn enough money to live a normal life. We are way far from being able to be rich, of course.
Because I have had a few podcasts ago, a girl that I think was the number 11 or 12. She's Italian. She's called Valentina Baruffo, and she worked in I think Hungary or Czech Republic. I don't remember. I think she worked at Brick Visuals, and then she worked, and now she's working at Pixel Flakes in London. And she said that when she started working at Brick, she would earn I don't know, something around 1,000 euros maybe, and she said that was very nice to have in Hungary, and she was able to have a great life, but only in Hungary. And when she moved to Pixel Flakes was a game changer for her because the currency is way better, so you can you have, like, so to say, economical power all around Europe. So that's what she said, and I was curious because I wanted to know how it is, if there is anyone from abroad that would consider ever to move to Bulgaria, because as I told you, I know people that are from Italy and they're moving to Romania and Bulgaria to work, and that was very curious to me.
Sorry to interrupt you, but to continue what you were saying, I completely agree with you. If we consider it that way, people from abroad, from the bigger part of the Europe, probably won't be considering coming here to work, because the level of life standard here compared to the west of the Europe is really low, and that comes with the wages also.
And how long did it took you to consider starting your own company? And how did you decided to do the company together? How everything started?
No particular point that I can recall. Probably when we were at the university, we were looking for a job, and when we started working in this visualization business, things went forward, and like on the principle of the snowball. Sorry, when you improve yourself and get better and better, and you start liking the results, and this way, after a couple of years, you finally decide that you have enough experience to have your own clients and to satisfy their needs by yourself, and not by just by doing a part of it, but the whole
process.
The whole process,
so to say. But so you
moved in our beginning.
Because you were working full time, right? And then you started the office on the side. Was it like this?
Yeah, I don't know a person that has his own business and didn't do this for some time. I mean, working after work and before work, respectively.
How long did you do this?
Hard to say, actually. Probably a couple of years, 2, 3, or more.
But on this, you were like waking up earlier, working before work, and then going to work, and then after work also working.
Yeah, steady 12 hours of work. And the funny thing is that we wanted to reach the weekend so that we can work in peace, and we have more time to work for ourselves and to get jobs done.
I'm also curious when you have a side project which you're working on. Didn't you get a little bit demotivated to work like your actual job?
Many times, a lot, but then again, it depends on the job you had. For me, it was a little demotivating because at the job where I was, the tempo of the work was a bit slower, and I found myself from time to time to idle at the computer, knowing that when it comes 5 o'clock, I have to go home and start working at a bigger tempo. So that was a little bit demotivating. I think with Vlado was the other case because he was working at a company where the tempo was exactly the same, and I think the job flow, the workflow there was constant.
Yeah, it was 24 hours.
But another thing I don't know about you, Kiro, but I know about Vlado. You have also, now I know you before you were married, but now you're also married, have kids, and how do you balance everything? Because if you're working constantly, how do you find time? When you have a girlfriend or a wife, kids, you needed to spend a little bit of time together. Is it difficult to balance everything, or how does that work?
It's really hard actually, because but now I don't need to work 24 hours a day, and so it's hard, but you can actually
I think what Vlado needs to say is that when you have a family, you find it easier to find time to you find it easier to find time for them.
You have to find time for the family, no?
Yeah, you have to. You're forced to. You cannot say no anymore.
You have no other choices.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're dead.
Or divorced.
Yeah. Luckily, you managed to get married, although you were working 24 hours back then, but also now it's I guess it's a little nicer because you have all the flexibility, because you decide if you need to work 12 hours. Maybe it's not the same as when you're working on a regular job where you need to actually be at a certain time in the office, and then, or is it better, or is it still not so flexible?
Yeah, it's flexible. I'm at 6 o'clock and start working even in 5 o'clock.
But then you go home.
I can then go home at 5 o'clock.
His excuse is that he has to take his son from the kindergarten and goes earlier.
But so you is there some days where you're like, oh my God, I cannot wake up, it's too early, or it's never happened so far?
Maybe if the rakia.
Maybe you still have rakia in the body, then you don't get up. But that's funny, because it must be exhausting. And now, guys, you're full-time set up with an official office and everything. It's very, very cool. I've been also to the office in Sofia. It's nice. So who are your clients? Do you work mostly for Bulgarian clients or for international clients? Who are your clients? Architects, or what kind of clients you have?
Well, it's always better for architects to be our clients, because we are architects ourselves and we have a common tongue when we are speaking about buildings and visualizations, but in reality, architects are the least of our clients. Most of our clients are from probably it's even actually Bulgarian clients and from abroad, and most of the abroad clients are real estate agencies that need the visualization for commercial purposes. And most of the architects from Bulgaria need this for their projects, just to imagine and have a look at what they have done. Not so much to impress the buyers or the investors, but to have a general idea of the process that they are going through, because most of them don't have the computer experience to have to do it on their own, and don't have time to make it by hand, like 3D model in reality.
And yeah, well, I've been on the side of your clients too, so you have always delivered on time, although sometimes the material you receive is not complete, or it's not even a 3D model, it's just a sketch. So I know a little I know a little bit about it. And but which countries apart of Bulgaria and I mean Germany, because I know about Germany, which are the other countries you work with?
Well, not so many. Those that I can recall now: Hungary, United States, England, and there might be some casual clients from here and there, but I can't recall them now.
And how was it during COVID-19 when it all started? Did you have some, drop about the requests for visualization, or so far it hasn't been any effect on your business?
In the first 2 months of the COVID crisis, when everyone were a bit scared and in a panic of some kind, there was a real sensible drop. But afterwards, it all went away, and we're working as it was before. Nothing in particular. I think in the architectural projects and infrastructural, there is kind of a step back. And that's connected with us because we work with those projects. But all in all, we don't have such drawbacks.
Well, I'm in the same business, just in a different, so to say, part of the chain. And I think that if there will be a significant drop, it will be maybe in a couple of years, because a lot of projects have started and they need to be completed, and that takes a little while. So I don't think it's gonna be it's not gonna be. Maybe if there is some issue, will be after the whole COVID situation is over. And are you guys still just the two of you, or do you have also some other employees?
We have two employees working at the office now. The third one is Vlado's wife, but she's in maternity leave for I don't know how many years now. And we work with with other people from time to time when we have not capacity to complete some jobs that happen to be at one time. But all in all, 4 people at the office right now.
Oh, so it got a little bigger since the last time I was there, because the last time you had, I think, 3 people altogether, not 4. And I was wondering, how is it to run a business together? Do you divide the projects? Do you divide the tasks? Is there any time you have frictions, or how do you manage? Because, for example, in general, when I was working in other offices, the bosses were an uneven number, so that it's easier to decide when there is some decision to make. How is your experience so far?
We're also an even number, because I'm close to 100 kilograms and Vlado is close to 80. So that makes an even when it comes to not agreeing with some point. But jokes aside, we always find a way to agree with each other, even if it takes to some fast quarrels, for example, a couple of minutes with shouting at each other, but not a big deal. I'm actually by ourselves how we've coped for 3 years in our office to do that.
And but do you split also, because when you have your own business, it's of course it's about visualization, but you have also other issues you need to deal with, other problems like, I don't know, all the tax returns stuff, like all these parts. Do you split this task in a different way if somebody is better at something, or all the paperwork you need to do sometimes? How do you deal with that, and how do you manage? Because that is also sometimes time consuming.
No, that's all only we agreed on one person to do that those kind of things, because you have to keep track on this, and if both of us doing these kind of jobs, it would be kind of frustrating for in some ways. But the job of delivering 3D visualization is split evenly when we can.
And do you have you created some specific workflow in the office, so that you have sort of a specific method or workflow set, so that whenever someone new is joining the office, they can easily get on track and understand your way of working? Or is it more freestyle and everybody manage their own way?
No place for freestyling here. It's all under control with our style that we've come up with during the years, and it's working for us. So anyone who wants to join us have to deal with learning this method, but it's not something wow and complicated. So I think every company which can say for itself that has a quality of working and quality process has kind of the same process.
I see. And what are your? Do you have some favorite tasks, some favorite projects you get? Ideal clients, or and what are maybe the worst that you say, okay, this is a real pain in the ass when I need to work with this kind of projects?
with every client we have some kind of projects, but we have to. We don't have to take. This client is my favorite. Every client should be treated the same way. And of course, there are some projects that don't.
All projects that have much money involved in them are interesting projects. I mean, much money involved in the project itself and the building that is built, not the commission we take. So worth mentioning is MOW from Frankfurt, that the company that you work with us. It was really a pleasure to work with them, because those were you were the clients that were architects and the source of the ideas that we have to produce as a visualization. That's the real pleasure of the work, because there are not so many people involved in the process that are one after another, but directly from the design heads to our hands and to the canvas for the tree visualization.
Yeah, and from the experience I had there, and from because I could see also the reaction to your work in the office. You add real value because, for example, you do also this very cool 360-degree images and some animations, not only still images. So we could see our project already finished before it was even completely planned. So we also enjoyed that part of the work. But I'm also wondering, because I have had on my podcast a few podcasts ago, Fabio Palvelli. He has worked for a lot of companies in the visualization field, and he's also organizing the D2 conference, which is one of the biggest conferences about 3D visualization. Do you have a method, for example, I don't know, let's say when you have a commission, to take part of the commission directly in the beginning and then some in the end? Or how do you manage that? Because I've heard of a lot of companies that have had some commissions, then did the job and didn't get paid. Did you have ever had these problems?
Luckily for us, we have just a little bit problems from that sort, but we don't have that practice to have the advance part of the money beforehand. We usually want the client to be happy, and then the quote that we agreed on beforehand is paid afterwards, after the delivery. And luckily, I can repeat that we don't have a bad experience with that for now. I hope not always.
And how is it also now because you've started as employees and you had a boss? How is it? Is it changed a little bit for you when you're now in the leading position, or you treat very equally your employees? And I don't know if they're like also very young and if they need to be educated as you were in the beginning.
You mean that you mean if we treat our employees the same way as our bosses treat us?
Yeah, because sometimes when you in the architectural field, I have had some very not I don't know. I know that you don't treat your employees badly because you're cool guys, and I know you personally. But if you have the pay, I meant more like if you are very understandable, being patient. Maybe I don't know what kind of experience the people working with you have.
Mm, uh,
Like I mean, like how time it takes you to educate your employees, and how it's that process works.
it depends on the person. It is the same as we went through that process. Uh, we try to learn from our mistakes and from the mistakes of our bosses before that. So it's not that far back to remember what we didn't like in our bosses, so that we can not do that to the people we work with. And we try to be understanding and be patient if someone warms up a little bit harder. But it's always depending on the personality of a person and his ambitions.
And you mentioned you have worked also as an architect, and do you also offer in some architectural services inside, I guess, inside Bulgaria as your license there, I guess?
Yes, thank you for that question. I forgot to mention that because we mentioned that we are both architects, but we also have a license for architecture, for practicing architecture and architectural design here. We have a couple of projects designing buildings, not only visualizing them. So this kind of make our work a little bit harder in this way, that you have to have your mind in completely different states from time to time and keep track of all things at once. But yeah, if we have the opportunity to design on our own, we take it. No matter that it's not so well paid here in Bulgaria, but that's another question.
And what does it take to get a license in Bulgaria?
After graduating from the university, you have to have 2 years of practice in a company that has been accredited and had the license itself.
Because as far I had also another guest on the podcast who has won the competition for the library of Varna, and he's kind of half Greek, half Albanian, and he told me back then that you could get a license in Bulgaria also if you have worked abroad. Do you know some? Is that like true, or it's also with donations?
No. No. The part with the donations is always an option, but can't discuss this because I'm not in that part of the business. But I've heard some things in this like this one, but I can't say for sure. I think people graduated from Germany have the license to operate here, but I'm not sure. That goes to the other way around. I think if Bulgarian architects go to Germany, maybe Germany not, but other countries from the European Union, you can practice there after a couple of how could I call them, tests.
I don't know, but I think that depends if the Architects Union here has an agreement with the Bulgarian one, and if they do, you just need to do some little paperwork, and then you will be allowed to practice in Germany too, because it's European Union.
Yeah,
so
but
it's
very practical, because you don't have the knowledge of German laws, and this will make your work very hard. You will always need a colleague from graduated from there who is who knows the legislation and the law there to help.
Well, that's for sure. But so far, have you done some architectural projects too, or very little?
A couple of one, yeah. Maybe three or four projects here in Bulgaria. Not nothing abroad.
What kind of projects was that?
One was reconstruction and rehabilitation of a hotel in Sunny Beach. Other one, and another one was pretty big logistic building in Burgas with a couple of shop fronts and a parking space.
And when you were starting, who were your first? Actually, I forgot to ask you that because it was curious. You said it was like a snowball effect, but where did you get your first clients?
No, I can't remember that. You also can remember something about this, but there are so many projects went through our hands that I can literally can't remember the first project. You mean for the 3D visualization or architecture?
Yeah, because starting as a new business, it's I don't know, but I guess it's a little hard because you're a new company, and I don't know if the people have you need to build a trust with your clients, and when you have to take your first assignments, it's a little hard. So how did it start? Were your first clients from Bulgaria, or were they from abroad? How did you start?
Yeah, definitely from Bulgaria, and I think it was needed a great deal of trust from the client to give you the chance to prove yourself, because you don't have from the beginning, you don't have a portfolio that you can show, and don't have some actual work that they can judge you from. But I don't really remember our first client. Even if we are talking about as a company, I can say our first bigger client, which was you guys in Frankfurt. We were very happy to have you as clients then, and now also. But probably some small houses in interior spaces.
But you have a pretty big portfolio also with other projects which are very cool. I mean, on your website. And did you help, because a lot of visualization companies, also the most established one. For example, I've had on the podcast Eric de Broche, who's like from Luxegon. Do you guys have established your own images style? Do you have a favorite kind of images you do to have your own style, or you're flexible depending on the clients?
Yeah, maybe we are flexible because every project and every client has their needs, and we are trying to put a style in the images, but at the end it depends on the client.
And do you think the images you have to do, for example, for Germany, have a very, very different style than the images you have to do, I don't know, for the UK or for Bulgaria? Is that also based a little bit on the nationality?
Definitely, of course. We've done some images and we've seen many images from different parts of Europe, for example, that when you see them, you instantly know for which part of Europe they're made for. All in all, that's our job to satisfy the clients wherever they are, from which country they are. So a style is we can apply our style with clients that don't need something specific, but just need something beautiful. That's a great job to have, because you have the opportunity to show what you really like, and then have the chance the client to like it also.
And I mean, not having a style is also, in my personal opinion, not having a certain style. You have for sure very high quality images, because when I scroll through your website or through your Instagram feed, all the images, and I have worked with you, so I know the quality of the images is very high. But that makes it easier for the client, because it gets what it wants, and also proves that you have the know-how to do any kind of image that that everybody or anyone requires.
One part of it, but the other part is some clients don't know what exactly they want. So it's our job also to show them a couple of options, or maybe to direct them in the right direction, so that they reach the conclusion that that's what I wanted to see, and that's to bring in front of from my building and my design. So that I think that's one of the things that come with experience. You have to have a certain number of clients to have the psychological differentiation of how people react to things that you show them.
And I was also thinking about, because you do a lot of different images, still images, videos, like 360 degree. Do you also need to spend some time into, I don't know if it's called, research and development to keep your process up to date? Are there any new requirements? I don't know, virtual reality is coming more and more. So is it your way of working pretty established since the beginning, and or you still need to, sort of update once in a while some new work methodology or something like that?
We don't have we don't have the chance to not to do that. I mean, if we stop improving and trying some new things and keep up with the technology and the new things that come out, we are not as good as our competitors. Yeah. So we try to make some time for this. From time to time, it's harder to make that to do that. But when you have many projects on your head, but we do that.
And where do you educate yourself and inform yourself about the new things coming up? Because I guess when you started, it was it was kind of coming from above, because you were working in these offices and you were learning their way to proceed. And now that you're on your own, where do you find what is new and what will be the next thing?
Mostly from the media and the internet, the people who are proactive like yourself, that constantly showing other people some new things, and interesting thing that if you are in that field, you're interested in listening and looking at. And we are from time to time we are attending some meetings that are organized by different manufacturers of, for example, 3D glasses or some other software to use, and but mainly from internet, educating ourselves with the news we have, forums, for example.
Yeah, that's interesting. And but do you have a lot of this event also in Bulgaria, or you were used to travel before also around Europe to check these events?
Didn't have the chance to travel around the world and Europe in particular because of the quantity of work we have during the start of our company, and not much of a time to do that. But here in Bulgaria, yes, because in Bulgaria is one step by your side, so you can go there fast and easy.
I'm seeing that also some companies as well as Red Vertex are now opening academies where people can go and follow a course. Do you think it might be also some part of your business in the future to offer some education for people because of your know-how you have gathered now, and that's very valuable around the world?
In these times, it's getting harder and harder to reach to people that have substantial experience to work with, and as we were talking with our friends that have companies on their own in this field also, they all have the same issue with finding people to work in the field, because if you're already experienced 3D artist, you most probably go on your way and make your own firm, and you have to teach more or less people that come to your office. So an academy in this way is a good option if you can afford it. Red Vertex is a big firm and you can afford it because it takes a lot of people and money to organize such a thing. Otherwise, we have an academy one-on-one here at the office.
You just need to go to work for you. But no, but because I've informed myself about some other academies. I mean, Red Vertex was very in the beginning when the last time I checked there, it was on Instagram. I know, for example, in Italy, there is the State of Art Academy, if you have ever heard about it. And they take some ridiculous amount of money, like 5,000 euros for a masterclass, which is 1 month, where people go and there and learn.
They learn something that is useful for them for this kind of money and time.
I cannot evaluate it on my own because I haven't taken part in the class. But for example, I had on the podcast 2 people that attended the class, and after that they found jobs in the industry, and they claimed that class was very useful for them to start. So of course you don't learn all the tricks of the job, because it's a little bit like, driving license. You have the driving license in the beginning, but you don't know really how to drive. So I guess it's I don't know. I cannot say, but I was thinking if for you could be something interesting as a business model, because it's also, it's not cheap to to attend these classes.
Yeah, and it's also not cheap to. Firstly, it's not cheap to organize such an event, to make an academy, to teach some people something. Even they pay you for that, but also it's not cheap to pay for people that work for you and don't have the capacity to improve themselves and to go forward. So it's kind of hard in this in this way, if we think about this way.
I see. But I think that, it's, as I said, it's not. I was curious because Bulgaria and Sofia offers great possibilities for that. Because, for example, if you need to go in Bulgaria for a month, even to follow a class, even if you need to pay for that class, your accommodation and your life in Bulgaria, it's way cheaper than in other parts of the world. So this is why I was curious about what is your opinion about this as someone that's in the industry. So we are now 1.5 hours, guys. It's Thursday. I don't want to keep you away from your free time to to go meet your girlfriends or wives or whatever, not get you killed. Finish the whiskey or rakia.
Straight to bed.
It was very nice finally to manage to do a podcast with you. Unfortunately, I cannot. As you know, it's very hard to travel currently. But next time we can do whenever I come back, we can do a podcast face to face, which would be nice, or just meet for some good alcohol together.
We'll be very happy for you to attend our office and to show you one of our finest here in the cupboard.
And I want to give you the opportunity to tell the listeners where can they find out more about your office on the internet.
What should I say? Should I quote our site or?
Yeah, you can quote whatever channels you have: Instagram, Facebook, websites. And
if you type VIKWay, as I hear it in Google, so we have a website, VIKWay.com, or VIKWay Studio in Instagram. That's where you can follow us.
Yeah, so I'm gonna add all the links to the description, so all the people who are listening can just click and go check their your websites. And of course, I hope that some of the people are also gonna require some work from you.
Well, hopefully. And I must say, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and to reach some more people through your podcast. And it was very pleasant to have a talk with you, and really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Georgi.
Thank you, both of you guys. And bye-bye, and we'll see each other in Sofia hopefully soon.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
speak soon. Bye.